Despite everything that we went through, I mean, flight delays, the sickness, coming back violently sick from sleeplessness, I would 100% go through all of the trials and the turmoil again.
It's like every band's dream to go across the ocean and play shows.
Yes, this is real. We're going across the world.
Got on the phone with the agent, started pursuing the details, and ended up locking in 4 tour dates for late April 2024.
So we started by leaving in Detroit. We were supposed to go down to Dallas before we made it to LA.
There was a big storm that came through the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and that just meant that suddenly our flight got pushed back a whole day.
And it was funny because I was all excited, so I didn't sleep that night. And then we didn't leave till the day after, which I think was Friday.
So instead, we had to take another flight from Detroit to Phoenix, and then from Phoenix to LA before we could make the hike out to Australia.
Once we would get there, you know, we'd figure out the sleep, you know, in general. And that did not happen.
At that point, I called our TM, our tour manager, Danny. He's a killer dude, man. I loved doing the tour dates with him. Fantastic guy from Silverback Touring.
Our tour manager, Danny, was, you know, constantly on the reassurance for us, saying, you know, don't worry, you know, this stuff isn't uncommon for when it happens, but we can usually work around it.
I kind of lost track, but the final score was 3 canceled flights and 3 delays. And I remember boarding the flight, getting settled in, and talking to some of the, you know, some of the other band guys that were sitting next to me. And I didn't really express this, but somewhere in my heart, I just felt like this adventure isn't quite over yet.
And then on our way to Australia, one of the hydraulic systems starts to leak in our airplane. And we have to make an emergency landing in Honolulu, Hawaii.
Why are we here?
I don't know.
Why are we here?
The plane had a little bit of a leak.
It's because they're running Flight Simulator off a PlayStation 2 and not a PlayStation 5.
I think that's why they went out.
So we come in for landing in Honolulu. My cousin Noah was actually a former Navy, and so he still lives on the island, and he lived like 20 minutes from the airport. So I called him at like 7 a.m. and I'm like, dude, you will never guess where I'm at right now. Banana bread at work, dude? Hell yeah. Look at our treats. This is cutting a pineapple with Mike. Don't judge me.
If you take this and plant it in soil, new pineapple in 18 months.
With the Bowie knife. That cost $3,000 in Nazi zombies. Oh my goodness.
Juicy. Also juicy.
There you go. Oh my goodness. Right off the bone. Weather was beautiful. It was like 85, sunny, clear skies, some clouds, and just a perfect day to accidentally be in Hawaii.
It was probably the best, worst thing that happened on the whole trip.
It was like the calm before the storm.
So ended up going back to the hotel, sleeping, getting up the next day, heading to the airport, got back up into the air, essentially flew through the day and then flew through part of the night.
So then we land into Sydney, and then the real game begins.
All right, boys, we made it. Finally.
I have to pass.
Live in Melbourne at the Blitz. Ooh, it's gonna be a ripper.
Todd and Young.
Melbourne!
About 400 in the house. First time through town. Barely made it. But here we are. Melbourne, what's going on? Hands up! All right. For that first show, we got to meet the boys in Lies and Destruction, the Australian Guns N' Roses tribute, full of awesome blokes, I'll call them. They were just super welcoming towards us. I really just can't say enough good about them because we just had such a great time making friends with them, and you know, they'd make fun of our Australian accents being too British and all of the fun that comes along with just being out on the road with another band.
It was such a nice way to break onto the scene for the first time.
When we got back to the hotel, this started a spree of sleepless nights.
Basically the whole time it was just you arrive at an airport and then you go to the hotel for a few hours, you get some food, you go to the venue, you sound check, eat, play the show, back to the hotel for a few hours, back to an airport.
So a lot of time spent in airports, let's just say that.
Day 2.
Day 2.
Well,
Adelaide.
day more like
I
8.
don't think days or time or Australia is real.
Mike, what day is it?
I don't know. I don't know anything anymore, dude. Gotten like 45 minutes of sleep in the last week. I'm gonna throw myself out of the next airplane I get on.
It's the day, I think. It's a time. We're at a place.
Oh. Hit on the corner of that TV
just
there.
like, just have it. You know, that's why I got so much concave in my fucking head.
And then it was more plane hopping, more checking into a hotel, more leaving a hotel at like 5 to 6 a.m., you know, more trips to an airport Macca's.
We took naps on the airport floor, literally anywhere. The airport floor, the venues, if they had a couch, I mean, people were laying on it. Anytime there was a spot to lay down, you were gonna take a small nap.
We didn't get much sleep at all, which is okay. But you know, we got up and just did it because this is what we love and this is what we do. So we were in Sydney and we had a little extra time before we had to go do our thing. So we decided to stop by this record store called Utopia Records.
Paul from Utopia Records, another Aussie that was just extremely hospitable, extremely over the top, fantastic bloke, showed us a fantastic time. We ended up signing a Van Halen record, taking pictures with his big logo in the back.
Utopia Records was dope. I bought a couple flags, Metallica and Trivium flags. Definitely a spot to visit if you're ever in Sydney and you like metal.
Our third date in Sydney, I definitely felt the most off. The exhaustion felt like it was finally catching up to me, and I was just like, oh my God, we still have 2 more shows. I remember I had this moment where I looked over at Michael and I'm just like, I am in such a pissy mood that I think this is gonna be a great show. And wouldn't you know it, the show that we play in the biggest city down under happens to be a sold out show.
I was so tired and sleep deprived by that point that I didn't even really know what was going on. I heard that it was sold out and I was like, what?
I mean, honestly, every show could have said sold out on it and I wouldn't have known any different. They were just packed, like front to back. Everyone was so into it. Australian crowds are loud. And it was just, I mean, a blast. It was the coolest thing to ever happen.
To just walk out there and just see 500 people just wall to wall, crammed in. It was hot, it was sweaty, it was rock and roll.
All the support that Utopia showed for the tour in general, they just shared a lot of the posts and really tried to drive some ticket sales for us. It definitely worked. Sydney was sold out, 500 tickets clean, packed like sardines. It can fit 500 people, but damn, it was cozy. We ended up going back. I roomed with John that night, and that night we got a lot of sleep. We got about 3 hours of sleep that night. That was a big night for us. 3 hours. Got into Brisbane the next morning, and I knew something was wrong.
Today's the day.
What day is it?
It's the last day.
The last show day. It's supposed to be Wednesday, and it kind of feels like a Wednesday.
But it's actually a Sunday.
It is a Sunday. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
I don't feel nice. The sound guy was celebrating his birthday that night, so we got to sing to him right on stage. And something that was really cool was he came to me before the show, and he said, "Mike, I can tell you're struggling right now. I know you mentioned something about not feeling great today. Usually we rent these out to bands, but I want to do you a favor and offer you an in-ear monitor if you need." And I was like, dude, we weren't able to bring ours. For those of you that don't know, in-ear monitors are basically fancy headphones that you wear in your ears. They kind of essentially help supplement or replace live wedges on the stage. Live wedges are the monitors that give musicians sound back so they can hear themselves singing or playing. He set me up with that, man. That helped carry me through the show. It was amazing. I was gonna tell you that I've been repping my favorite venue from Michigan this whole trip, but I feel like I'm turning my back a little bit if I were to claim District 142 as my favorite venue, because I think I have to claim Machine Shop as my favorite venue, mostly because of how drop dead sexy Kevin Zink is. I'm sorry, Julie. I'm sorry, but you know, I just see Kevin in a different light. I'm sorry. He's beautiful. He's a beautiful man. Close to my heart. Also, I'm really sorry, but Julie, your fly's down.
I'm gonna be happy when the show ends, but I'm gonna be a little sad that it ended so soon. Like, it felt like every day was just sort of a flash in the pan moment of just like, get there, get situated, get rocking. And now that we're gonna be breaking out of it, it'll be nice to be able to breathe for a little bit, but it'll be a little sad to leave the country and feel like there's so much more that I could have been able to see, but you know, that's what 2025 is for.
And tonight is our last night, and I'd say it's bittersweet, because this has been probably the most fun tour, but also the most exhausting, and yeah, brain is just what? I'd say total in the last 7 days, I think we probably got 13 hours of sleep.
Today we're here at the zoo, last show of the tour. Very bittersweet, you know, because we've had such a blast on this tour, but I think we're also all ready to go home and get in our own beds and get all comfy. But you know, tonight's gonna be a pretty good show. Yeah, here we are, last show of the tour.
despite everything that we went through, I mean, flight delays, the sickness, coming back violently sick from sleeplessness, I would 100% go through all of the trials and the turmoil again.
Even though like we didn't get any sleep, and I mean, we were hungry most of the time and we didn't know what was going on. We were just walking zombies. I would do it again tomorrow.
A huge shout out to the venues at Prince Melbourne, Bridgeway Adelaide, Crowbar in Sydney, and the zoo in Brisbane, as well as their production staffs for treating us the way they did, man. They were just amazing to work with and super accommodating to everything we needed. And I'd really like to give a shout out, man, everyone that bought a ticket, everyone that bought a t-shirt, everyone that spent their, their Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, especially the Brisbane folks, for being so patient and understanding with us. Man, it means so much to go halfway around the world and have a couple thousand people waiting at the doors to see us play old school Van Halen, man. That's so cool of you guys, and just want to let you guys know how blessed and humbled we are by the opportunity to do something of this level, and we're really looking forward to expanding into more cities and more countries next year, and just see where this train takes us.
So we just pat Grover, we just do it one at a time, and we just stick down to the lower back down here, so we just don't go near his head or anything like that. So yeah, you guys are all welcome to take photos of each other and stuff like that. We can help you take a group as well if you like. And if you have any questions about him, just let me know.
Oh, what a nice man. What a nice man.